All right, Proffitt Podcast listeners, we have a special guest, an all-star, the VIP, the queen of online marketing, all the things. I feel like this is like one of those announcements, like let's get ready to rumble.
Me too, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here. We had you on the show before to talk about digital courses and taking your content and turning it into something that is of value and of purpose and something that can be so beneficial to your audience. And today, I want to talk about not starting from scratch, not creating from scratch, like ever again. You don't ever have to create anything from scratch again. What does that feel like?
Okay, it's an amazing feeling. And when I was with Tony Robbins for so many years, that is something that he ingrained in all of his students. You are going to be a more efficient entrepreneur if you figure out how not to recreate the wheel all the time. So that's something I've heard for years and years. And I thought, okay, so what does that look like in my business? And of course, not recreating the wheel is going back to content that you've created, breathing new life into it and using it in new ways. And that is something that I have done over and over again. You're right. The book, all of that is what I've been teaching over the last 13 years. And so I think one of the things as a content creator, if you can get really good at putting things together in a roadmap, a sequence, the steps, whatever that is, you can reuse your content in so many different ways. And it gives you more time freedom, more creativity, and allows you to feel like you're moving forward versus always one step forward, two steps back. That's what it looks like when you create from scratch all the time. And I promise you, the most lucrative, profitable, successful entrepreneurs are not starting from scratch all the time.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I feel like, first of all, we just started this with a gift. You are welcome, like everybody listening, because that is just, it's so refreshing to hear, because I see a lot of people, they get bogged down in I have to create the most epic piece of content every time I turn on the microphone, or I start creating a blog post, or I go to create a YouTube video. It has to be earth shattering and mind blowing. And it keeps a lot of people from starting. Like, to be honest, like it just really keeps people in this mind frame of, I don't really know if I can do this, or I don't know that I'm cut out for it. If I can't make a podcast like Amy Porterfield's podcast, and I don't even want to get started. Amy, I hear this all the time. So do you have any words of wisdom to kind of give those people permission to just get going and just get started?
Gosh. Yes. One thing I can guarantee all of you, if you're just kind of feel stuck with getting started, is that all of us started in a way that looks very messy. If you go back to my first few podcasts, if you go to YouTube, my first few videos, I'm mortified by all of it. Like, I actually read a quote recently that if you're not embarrassed of who you were a few years ago, you're not growing. Now, I don't think we need to be embarrassed by who we were. We got to have compassion and love and grace for that person. But there's some truth to, if you don't see yourself as totally different today than back then you aren't growing. So you have to start out messy. You have to start out with not having all the answers, the video not looking great, the audio maybe not so pristine, whatever it might be. We all started there. And there's not one successful entrepreneur that I know or mentor that I have that feels like they started with everything perfectly worked out. The winners just get started, even when it's messy. That's the only message I have for you. The winners get started even when it's messy. You got to get it out there.
Oh my gosh. Like I said, just all the gifts. You're like Oprah today, like dropping all the, you get some wisdom and you get some more experience, because it's so important. And I feel like, and I'm sure, you've been doing this, like teaching online marketing and creating digital courses and all the things that you need to know for so long now. I feel like you must repeat yourself so often in very specific areas, probably not all the same thing all the time, but is there one lesson that you just keep coming back to over and over again that you're like, I know I've said this 1,000 times, but people still need to hear it? Is there something that stands out in your mind?
Oh my gosh, there's a few things. So if I get down to the tactical stuff, I've said two things over and over and over again, and I'll keep saying it. Number one is that you've got to grow your email list in order to grow an online business. Everybody who has an online business should have a growing, thriving email list. And I also say it doesn't need to be hundreds of thousands of people. Even a few hundred people, it makes a difference when you're ready to put your offer out there. So always be list building is a motto I've said probably a million times. I always say, another thing I always say is I believe everybody has a digital course in them. Whether you're teaching something where you've gotten results for yourself or for your clients, there's probably 10 things you could create a digital course on based on your life experiences and the results you've had. Everyone has a course in them. But I think the most important thing that I've said over and over again is how important managing your mindset is to growing your business. And I think you and I have experienced this probably over and over again. If we don't be careful about what we think and what those thoughts are translating into feelings we have, and those feelings create the actions, if we're not aware of that, then all the strategies in the world that you teach and that I teach, they don't matter to our students. So really paying attention to the thoughts you have and using them to serve you is huge. And I always say, don't believe everything you think, because not every thought I have every day is positive. Let me tell you, the majority probably are negative. I just choose not to believe them, and I just keep moving on and choose a different thought. So I think mindset is bigger than all the strategies I teach.